You're listening to the Global Countdown, first broadcast on the briefing on the 8th of August.
And finally today, that jingle means it is Thursday, and Monocle Radio's senior correspondent Fernando Augusto Pacheco is here with us to have a look at the Global Countdown, the latest music charts. Fernando, we are headed to a place where I spent about 7 years of my life.
And I'm sure you're going to love the music then, Chris, because we're heading to Germany.
We are heading to Germany. It's an interesting scene. I have to say, I feel like sometimes there's stereotypes about Germany being all either techno or Schlager, but this is an interesting mix.
There's a whole area in between as well. And I'm glad I trust my gut as well, because I didn't know which country to choose, but then I quite enjoyed the number one song. No spoilers here, so I said, you know what, I'm doing Germany. And it's a very interesting number one, but I think we should start with number 5, right?
I mean, that is the usual way to do this, Fernando.
You mentioned techno. We don't have techno, but we do have a little bit of deep house mixed with Afrobeats. This is German DJ and producer Adam Port with Striv, and also with the voice of Malachi. The song is called Move. It's hypnotic.
It is. It's sort of soft house. I don't know how to describe it exactly,
soft.
but it's nice.
From what I've been reading, is deep house, but the influence of Afrobeats is there. The influence, I loved it. Malachi has a very, very beautiful voice. And Adam Port, he's super famous. He's a very traditional DJ. He's got a collective label called Canny Music. And he'll be performing in London, in fact.
Canny
over the
Musik or Kleine Musik? What does it say there?
Canny Music.
Canny Musik. That means no music.
Oh, interesting.
So what a name. What a name
for a label.
Sure. No music.
He'll be performing in London this weekend, and then he's heading to Ibiza, to Istanbul. He's got a very, very busy schedule for the summer as well.
All right. Well, let's move on to number 4. What do you have for us there? Are we still in the house space or moving on?
Not quite house, but this song has been in the German charts for 29 weeks. It's a long time. And I'll tell you why after we play by Australian DJ Cyro with Stumbling It In.
Our love is alive. It's so we begin. Foolishly laying our hearts on the table, stumbling in. Our love is a flame.
Of course, it's the cover of the 1978 classic by Chris Norman and Suzi Quatro. I love the original, but I have to say this one is really delicious to listen. It's very chilled. But you know why it's so famous in Germany? By the way, in other countries as well. It's a big song.
I was going to say, it's the kind of cover that I think does very well in European charts, I have to say.
Absolutely. But in Germany, there's a specific reason. Apparently, this song became viral on TikTok because Bayern Munich used as the song for the team, you know. And of course, it's a very celebrated football team in the country. And that's why the song is still doing so well in the charts.
Germany does love its sports anthems. Whenever they can attach something to sports, it works very well.
And it helps in the charts, clearly.
Let's move on to number 3. What can you tell us about this one?
This is interesting because I think this taps into this new market of nostalgia among the young generation, I would say. Because I don't know, in my social media, Chris, I have to say there's a lot of accounts about nostalgia in the 80s, and you see those beautiful houses in the 80s, what the vibe, you know, it's kind of retro-futuristic almost. And I think this song taps into that. It's by English Cypriot singer Artemas, and I'm sure you've heard the song before. I Like the Way You Kissed Me. Let's have a listen. It's very nostalgic. And there's another name. I mean, I know I'm kind of saying all sorts of names here, deep house, whatever, but this is dark wave.
Dark wave? What does that mean exactly?
I can feel the dark wave because it's hard to explain, because there is a little bit of this retro-futuristic, kind of those dark synth from the 80s as well. but still some people,
modernizing the 80s. That's
Exactly.
what we're doing here.
still very catchy.
It is very catchy. It's a very catchy tune. How catchy is number 2?
Very catchy. We get two of the biggest names in German pop music today. I say pop and hip-hop, let's say. This is Ailiva with her 4th number 1, and Apache 207. He's a rapper. He's 12th number 1, so he's massive in Germany.
Wait, this is number 2, but it was number 1?
Yes, it was
Okay.
number 1. So yeah,
Got
sorry,
it.
I forgot to mention that. The song's called Wonder. Let's have a listen.
Ich weiß, dass du immer allein bist. Egal, wer dich gerade einnimmt. Und immer wenn du heimgehst, weiß ich genau, dass ich dir fehl. Wenn du zurück bist, ich wunder mich dann nicht. Ich wunder mich dann nicht. Ich wunder mich dann nicht. Mich dann nicht.
Bitte wunder dich.
There are a lot of cultural influences in Germany that people don't necessarily realize, and I think that song highlights some of those.
Absolutely. I mean, you're talking about Ailiva as well. She does have Turkish roots, in particular, as many of the artists in the German charts
It is a
have.
very big scene, that sort of Turkish scene in Germany in terms of music. They are very popular, and it's a good tune.
Absolutely, and they dominate the music charts. And by the way, can I start a petition? Can we have Ailiva as the German entry for Eurovision next year? She's excellent. I think she would do very, very well.
You heard it here first,
Yes.
listeners. Start a petition for Ailiva, Germany. Maybe they'd actually do well for a change. They haven't done very well for a while.
Exactly.
Okay, now we are on to the big one. This is you've been enjoying this one all morning, Fernando. Describe to us this number 1 track.
And by the way, I was enjoying with a free mind before I read all those write-ups in the German newspapers talking about the song. I love the beat. I think it's kind of a silly summer hit, which I'm very pro.
It is very silly.
It is silly, it is fun, perhaps even a little bit ironic. We will discuss this, Chris, but let's have a listen to Shirin David with Bauch, Beine, Po, which apparently means belly, legs, butt. Let's have a listen.
Du willst ein Buddy? Ja. Dann musst du pushen. Bist du ein Huddy? Ja. Werden sie gucken. Geh ins Jimmy, werde skinny, mach daraus eine Show. Wir sind pretty im Bikini, das ist Bauch, Beine, Po.
So I have to compose myself here, because I
You
love
can't
it.
resist. You cannot resist this one. You're sort of transfixed.
It's
Is the sense I'm getting here.
There's so many interpretations for the song. If you take it literally, it is a fitness track, like work out your belly, your legs, your butt, move up and down. I like that. But some people saying that apparently she was being a little bit ironic with this track. But I think whatever it is, I think it's a fun track.
There is maybe a bit of an ironic, challenge of beauty or something like that. But it is interesting, yes. She's leaning directly into all of that.
And of course, she's beautiful. Clearly she works out as also. Some people are saying, is this really feminism? But again, people love to judge, especially women, no matter what they do, in a way. So, for example, in the German serious newspapers, I was reading a lot of write-ups and saying about her career as well, because I think she started in quite a traditional music background, like playing the violin. I think she worked in an opera house as well. Clearly, there's been a little U-turn here. And we were talking about feminism, right, Chris? There's also a movement on social media. Pregnant women are loving this track because apparently they're saying it's a tribute to pregnant women because of the lyrics. Breathe in, breathe out. That wasn't enough. Push it deep. So it's quite interesting. So you can interpret the way you like.